Hello, Commanders, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous Return from Beagle Point. Today's topic of discussion will be pursuing your dreams. But before we get into any of that, I would like to welcome all of the new viewers who might be joining the adventure right now. The purpose of this journey has been to increase our exobiology rank up to the elite status, as well as hopefully make enough money along the way to purchase a fleet carrier and take all of our ships and maybe even a few other people out into the black by the time we get to that, and have an epic adventure that is, maybe a little bit different. Anyways, we typically have a cycle of operations that I go over at the beginning of every episode because there is a routine that we tend to follow. But the last couple of episodes, like 2 episodes ago, we found a system that had just crazy amounts of biology in it, and we've been exploring this system ever since. So, you just saw I found some fungoida. We're looking for more of that as we fly around. If I can try not to do that. Yep, this is fungoida. I'm going to try to land, hopefully right here in the middle of it. That would be nice. I don't think it's going to let me land. But anyways, so yeah, we're trying to get back to the bubble. We've already made it out to Beagle Point. We're on our way back, and I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to land here. Oh, I saw blue. So yeah, that's kind of the thing. I can't. We're not able to do the cycle of operations that we typically do. That I typically go over because that's while we're out in space going through systems kind of thing. So I won't be going over that now. We're going to get on the ground here and hopefully. There we go. All right, get the second of our 3 fungoida samples that we need. We already got 2 out of the 4 species on this planet in the previous episode. We got the bacteria and the tussock, I think. And then we have the fungoida, and there's one more. I think it might be osseous, but I haven't seen any osseous since we got on the planet, so I'm not sure if we're going to find any of that here. But we'll look for them, and then I think there was one more planet that was worth going to here that had 3 biologic. Oh, I have to get back in the ship to look at my system map there without having to go to the whatever item wheel or whatever it is, menu wheel that's in the on the first person view. So let's hop into the map. I think there was one more planet that we want, or one more body that we wanted to go check out because it had I think like 3. Yeah, 3 biology there, 2 there, 2. I'm not going to worry about the ones that have just 2 because these are going to be icy bodies that only have fungoida, but this has 3, which means it's going to be worth our time to go check it out. So let's hop up and see if we can find one more set of fungoida, and then we'll fly around for a minute to see if maybe that was my dryer. We'll see if maybe we can. I lost track of my dryer distracted me. Oh, well, yeah, we'll fly around for a minute and see if maybe we can find some of that osseous that's supposedly on the planet. I think it was osseous. Well, okay. Is this, no, that's tussock. We need to find one more fungoida. And they're typically going to be in difficult places to get to, so I don't want to go too... Oop, what's all this? Nope, more tussock. All right, give me the fungoida. It would be nice if it actually drew the model instead of giving me a shadow like that. That's kind of frustrating. So anyways, the topic of today's discussion, I do try to have a topic of discussion to go over while we're doing all of this kind of stuff here, because it can get boring to just watch. Oh, there we go. That's what we're looking for. It can get boring to watch somebody just flying around and collecting samples and, doing the boring science that comes with doing exobiology like this. So like I said, the topic of today's discussion is following your dreams, or pursuing your dreams, or whatever version of that you want to, however you want to phrase it. I grew up in a generation where we were told that we could be whatever we wanted to be and do whatever we wanted to do, and realistically, that's not necessarily the truth. You can pursue many different things, but if you're not good at it, the chances that you're going to make it are pretty small. I'm having a hard time finding a place to land over here. We may have to land over here and run and hoof it a little bit. Can I find a smooth spot over here? So, you know, when I was young, I had everyone telling me that I could be what I wanted to be. You could be anything you want, blah, 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 blah. And then life kind of got in the way and made it clear that that's not really a thing. And it didn't help that for a lot of my life, while I had like the school system and all that stuff was trying to tell me that I could be what I wanted to be, but then, you know, things in my personal life didn't necessarily go that route. The people in my personal life didn't necessarily go that route. And just, you know, the various people that I've had in my life overall have more or less either discouraged me from pursuing different things or have put me in situations where I had to choose between the dream that I wanted and this other thing, and I had been convinced that the other thing was more important than my dream, so I gave up my dream and went after and you know, did what I had to do. And realistically, especially as a man, we have obligations and we're expected to meet those obligations regardless of the effect that they're going to have on our lives. So you may want to do something with your life that is impractical when it comes to the obligations that you may have, and you convince yourself to abandon those things because... I didn't mean to do that. What is this? We'll scan that on the way back. That doesn't look the same as the other stuff that we've scanned. You convince... I don't know. I'm trying to think of a reasonable way to say this that doesn't just sound like whining, because, you know, part of this topic is going to be whining. I'm sorry. There's no way to get around it. And sometimes you just got to whine about shit. That's just, you know, it makes you feel a little bit better. So there's been a lot of situations in my life where I've had to give up on things that I wanted to do because I got myself into situations that obligated me to do certain things. And, you know, you make those decisions at the time because they feel like they're going to be the right decision. And then you don't find out until later that, oh, this thing that I decided to do is now preventing me from doing these other things that I want to do because now I have these obligations that I have to meet. So for a significant portion of my adult life, I have basically, you know, made decisions that at their core were designed to be selfless and help other people, because I believed that it was my responsibility to do so. But it was always at the expense of any of the things that I really wanted to do with my life. And I had to find things that I had to accept substitutes for the things that I really wanted to be doing. And video games ended up being one of those things that, you know, because you can fit that in pretty much any time of your day. Some of the other things that I really wanted to be doing just weren't feasible based off of the lifestyle that I've been able to obtain over the course of, you know, 20 years of trying to figure out what the hell I'm going to do with my life. That's kind of a weird way to say that, but you know, it's I know I'm waffling around, and it's because I don't really know how to approach this subject other than I want to talk about the ultimate message that I'm trying to get to is that, you know, you have to go after your dreams regardless of how ridiculous they might sound. That's where I'm trying to get to, and I will get there eventually, but I'm also kind of trying to, you know, lead you down the path of how I finally got to that point after many years of just not believing in that, you know? Like, there's so many reasons and so many influences out there that try to convince you that your dream is stupid or your dream doesn't matter. You know, these other things are more important, and society believes that they're more important, so you should think that they're more important, and you should give up everything about yourself to make sure that you're meeting those obligations. I don't think I've ever seen whatever this is before. Brutexa flammasis. Holy crap, that's different. Okay, well, we definitely need to fly around and see if we can find a couple more of those. That is cool. I've never seen, I know for a fact I've never seen Frutexa flammasis before. That's different. So we'll definitely try to find those again. Well, we're definitely going to try to find a couple more samples of that. And you know what really sucks is that because you make certain decisions in your life, and those decisions sometimes result in extended periods of obligation that you're not able to get out of. So a lot of people end up having to completely give up on any dreams that they have because they have to meet the obligations for decisions that they've made. Now, I don't necessarily regret any of the decisions that I've made, because those decisions resulted in having people in my life that are very important to me, and I hope to one day be able to include them in my dreams. But at the same time, those obligations have set me back a very lot, like quite a lot. And it's one of those things where it's one of those things where am I going to find these in the mountains, or I don't know where I'm going to find these. Okay, that was ridiculous. That's Fungoida. We need to find more of the Frutexa there, though. But the Frutexa is all... Oops, hold on. Is it going to be this? I don't think so. Well, we'll skim around and see if maybe we can find some. So we got to find the ones that have that weird shape. Because that's just tussock, I think. So we have to find the ones that look kind of wispy. And Frutexa also does tend to be in rather difficult to land areas. That's just more tussock, it looks like. More tussock. Yeah, there's a lot of tussock over here. They're just rocks. Alright, but anyways, there's a lot of things. I guess what I'm trying to get to is there's a lot of things in your life that can get in the way of you getting to the goals that you're trying to get to. And it's easy to get into a mindset that discourages you from even trying to do any of those things, because it feels so hopeless that you're ever going to be able to figure out how to make it happen. Especially when the dreams that you have, you know, involve I don't want to say ridiculous amounts, but significant amounts of money. Like I said, as I've said, I don't know if I said it in this episode, but in previous episodes, I have mentioned that, you know, one of my dreams is to sail around the world. Well, sailing is one of the most expensive things that you can do, as far as like just trying to get into it. Obviously, if you're going, you know, power boats are going to be more expensive overall because of the fuel and everything like that. But a sailboat is going to be one of those things that's just, you know, exorbitantly expensive to get into. Now, I've tried to figure out ways of getting into it so that the initial price is not, you know, a limiting factor, and then I can finally start investing my money into fixing up a boat and things like that. But realistically, it's one of those things where you need a lot of money to make it happen. It's not something that you can just cheap your way into. So, you know, there's been multiple times where I've given up on that dream. I gave up on my dream of being a professional pilot because of various reasons that I don't want to get into. But suffice it to say, they involved obligations that I have in my life that I had to choose between doing that and the other obligation that I had. And you know, being the kind of person that I am, I decided to sacrifice my dream to make sure that I was meeting the obligation that I had agreed to. It doesn't look like we're going to find this other thing. I would really like to find the other ones, but they don't. The grassy, thin stuff like this just does not always show up very well. And every time we find something thin like that, it ends up being the tussock or whatever. So we may give up on this one and head over to the other planet. Because I could spend 15 minutes flying around here and never find one. So yeah, being the kind of person that I am, I was raised, you know, I was raised in a generation that, yeah, we were raised to believe that our dreams were important and we should try to be whatever we wanted to be. But at the same time, you know, I was also raised in a generation where we still had a lot of the conservative ideas of, you know, you have obligations to meet and you need to do what you got to do to make that happen. I'm on the very edge of the Generation X / millennial generation, so I have kind of a hybrid value system compared to, you know, people who are more firmly involved in either one, which actually makes life a little bit more hard for me, because I have certain values that are very, very traditional, and I have other values that are kind of progressive, and I'm truly somewhere in the middle, I think. That makes things very difficult for me. So the thing I'm painfully trying to move towards is that despite the fact that I've had all of these things that have made my life feel like I'm constantly waiting for something, this YouTube thing has, I don't want to say inspired me, because I'm still kind of waiting on it too, but it's kind of inspired me to, you know, sort of kind of believe that maybe my dreams can kind of come true, and maybe I can finally get to a place where I'm able to live the kind of life that I'm hoping I can live, and I can go do the things that I'm hoping I can do, and I can find some way to be successful in a way that matters to me, not necessarily a way that matters to society. Because me personally, I don't care about money, at least not insofar, and I don't care about having money. Money for me is just a means to an end. It's a way to get. Okay, let me see what that is. All right, yeah, I don't think we're gonna find any more of this Flematis, because I don't really know where it is. So we're just gonna go ahead and get out of here, and we'll fly over to the other planet, land, and then probably save that for the next episode, because we're almost out of time already. Let's see, we have this one here. That was 4. We did that one already, so let's do that, and then we'll head out that way. So, you know, I only say that because I've said it before and I'll say it again. YouTube is not something that I would have ever chosen for myself. And I say that knowing that I'm a very small channel and I'm by no means successful. I'm under no delusions, but I'm more successful than I ever believed I ever could be, as far as, you know, running a channel and doing something like this. You know, I'm from a generation, I'm from a period of time where the default assumption is YouTube. You're trying to do what? What is this ridiculous thing that you're trying to do? You want to play video games for a living and get paid for it? Are you out of your mind? Like, that's the era I grew up in. And especially because of the age that I am right now, it's even more ridiculous to try to start to move in that direction. Like, I'm at the age where I should be well established in a career and have a house and all of this stuff. And, you know, if I'm following the traditional path, you know, I have no business doing what I'm doing right now. And there's a traditional part of me that looks at my life and says, dude, you're being a slacker. What is this crap that you're doing? What are you doing? You need to be out there grinding and doing a job, because, you know, you're not a child. You need to be out there working and like providing some kind of value to society and this and that and the other thing. And, you know, that's the traditional viewpoint. And there's a part of me that there's a part of me that subscribes to that, but I also understand that the part of me that subscribes to that is the part of me that has been indoctrinated in a system that tells me that, you know, a man is supposed to be this. This is what a man is supposed to be. So there's also the other side of me that still has a dream and still has desires and still has a vision for the future that I'm hoping I can somehow make happen. And, you know, a regular 9-to-5 job where I have to go into a place every day to do this or do that does not provide me with the opportunity to do that at all. Any job that would require me to be tethered to one location does not provide me with the means to pursue the dream that I have. And that's just kind of the way that it is. So if I'm... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. We have two different options. Oh, Tubus, okay. Tubus and Tussock are... I mean, it looks like all three of these are about the same, so we'll head down to the planet. If there's anything close by, we'll go ahead and scan one, maybe, but we don't have enough time to go after all three right now. So, you know, there's a dichotomy there where society and a portion of my own upbringing tells me that, you know, sitting here and doing YouTube and, you know, making sitting here and doing YouTube is a complete waste of my time. You know, it's irresponsible. You're too old to be doing that, blah, 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 that kind of thing. And it's hard for me to dispute that because, you know, the chances of success on YouTube are astronomically small. It's all, I don't want to say, it's not like winning the lottery small, but it's up there. It's up there with like winning the lottery, that kind of thing. You know, some people have a better chance at it than others. If you're able to speak articulately and clearly and in a way that keeps people engaged, then obviously you have a much higher chance than some dude that just does, you know, silent playthroughs of video games or whatever it is that you do. But even still, I mean, the chances that this channel is going to turn into something that is sustainable and going to provide for me and my wife in the future, that's extremely, extremely small. And you can't ignore that aspect of the things that you're trying to pursue. You have to jump into these things being realistic about the odds about it, and then deciding if that's something you're willing to live with. And for most of my life, I am very risk averse. Okay, so we'll go after some of these. We'll go after some of these bacteria, and then in the next episode we'll go after the other kind. I'm a very risk-averse person, despite the fact that I served in the military. It's you know, I'm Marine Corps for over a decade of my life. I'm not open to risk. I always try to choose the safe option, and for most of my adult life, I chose the safe option. I chose the traditional option. I chose the, you know, I'm going to find a job and work this and all of that. And the reality of that situation is that I'm after 20 years of work, I'm no further along in my ability to do things than I was when I was 20. Because, you know, the military thing didn't work out for various reasons. And then the various jobs that I've had since I left the military just haven't taken me where I want to go. Like, there's a lot of people out there who are talking about, you know, you have to take the opportunities that come your way and follow where they lead, and you'll find success. And it's like, yeah, that is true, but everybody's version of success is different. And if the success that I receive is not the success that I'm hoping for, then it's not really success. It's just a positive result that ended up happening. And for me personally, maybe I'm being unreasonable. I probably am, but that's not enough for me. Like, I'm not interested in a version of success that society has decided is okay. I'm interested in a version of success that makes me feel excited and happy and fulfilled. And money is just not that. Going to a place where I'm basically just trading my time to make enough money so that I can have a few trinkets and baubles and things like that. That doesn't appeal to me. I grew up reading adventure novels, reading fantasy novels, reading all of these things. I am looking for the ability to go and have an epic adventure with my life. And I can't do that if I'm stuck in some BS job, regardless of how much money it makes. Like, you look at all these super rich people, and you see their lives, and you wish that you had that. But then, if you actually had to put up with like, you think they have freedom, and they don't. They don't have freedom. They are stuck in a cycle that produces lots and lots of money, that provides them with stability, that provides them with all of these things that, you know, they want, but at the same time, you know, if you don't have the time to enjoy it, what's the point? You know what I mean? Like, and I don't want that. I have no desire to be stuck in a cycle. You're basically in the same cycle as poor people, except, yeah, you have a nice house. Yeah, you have a nice car. It's definitely a better situation. Like, I'm not going to argue that it's a bad situation. It's a much better situation than being poor, but you're still locked into that same cycle of you're not free to do what you want because you're stuck having to work all the time to keep that money coming in. And I don't have any interest in that. I want to find a way to live out some kind of adventure like I experienced in the fantasy novels. Obviously not, you know, wandering around with a sword and fighting things, but, you know, sailing around the world would be an epic adventure that would be very similar to, you know, traveling around the world and seeing different things and experiencing different this and that and the other thing. I don't want a traditional life. And it took me way too long to figure that out. It took me way too long to figure out that, you know, the life I want for myself is very different than the life that most people want for them. And I wish I had figured it out a lot sooner, because I think I would be a lot closer to my goals than I am now. And it's just really hard because I know my age makes it such that a lot of people are going to look at me and say, what are you doing with your life, dude? You're a bum. You're wasting your time. You need to be doing this. You need to be doing that. And I have to convince myself to ignore those feelings, because I tell you what, with the way that things have worked out over the last year plus, I feel extremely guilty because I haven't been working. I've been focusing on building up my channel, and, you know, I'm doing this volunteer thing that's providing us with a place to stay and free electric and water and all these other things. So I am providing value finally. I've gotten out of that part of it. But, you know, most people are going to look at my situation and say, dude, you need to get a job. You need to go find a job and start making some money. And it's like, yeah, I see your point of view, and the guilty part of me agrees with that. But at the same time, if I do that, I have zero chance of moving towards the dreams that I have for not just myself, but also my wife. One of the reasons I married my wife is because she at least likes the idea of the dreams that I have, and she wants to participate in them. And, you know, I want to bring her with me. If I can get the kind of sailboat that I want, I'll be able to bring her and maybe a couple of my family. Like, I'd love to bring my kids with me. They're all older now. They're like my daughter is getting ready to graduate high school, and my son is a teenager now. And it's like I'm at the point where I would love to be able to bring them with me and let them experience that kind of a thing. But, you know, the path to that is still a long road ahead, and I have to figure out a way to navigate it and make it happen. And, you know, a regular job is not going to get me there. I have to figure out an alternate means. But anyways, I've wasted your guys' time enough. The whole point of this is that I personally am still trying, as roundabout as it is, I'm trying to focus on pursuing my dreams. And, you know, the little bit of success that I've had on YouTube and the direction that I'm hoping that it's moving tells me that maybe it's a possibility. We'll see where it goes. Hopefully it becomes a thing. There's no way to know until it actually happens. And then one day I may have to give it up and, you know, be depressed. But anyways, pursue your dreams. Go after it. You never know until you try, and that's just kind of the way that the world works, and you got to go for it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Hopefully it made some sense to you. Be sure to click that like button if you did, so that the YouTube algorithm will know and send the video out to as many people as possible. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing now, so that when the next video comes out, it will show up in your feed and you will be able to watch it as soon as it becomes available. Channel members do get early access to all of my content, so be sure to click that join button, check out the list of options available there, and decide if any of those are right for you. If you do not want to do a recurring membership, you can leave YouTube's version of a tip with that thanks button. Direct contributions are greatly appreciated and a critical component to helping to turn this into a full-time gig, which is the dream. Also, click that GoFundMe link to check out the car replacement for our mother-in-law. She really needs some help, and your contributions are greatly appreciated. So again, thank you for your time. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Be sure to come back for the next one, and I'll see you then.